Hey, POCFs. I'm reviewing a couple emails that I got recently, and I kind of go off a little bit, and there might be a cuss word or two, but there might be a couple words that kids may not be privy for children. So I just want to give you a heads up on that. So if you're listening to this in the car with your children, be prepared. The vulgar part, it's not vulgar, but some other words are used at the very end, and it has to do with intimacy. I'll leave it at that. So if that isn't intriguing enough, I don't know what is. I hope you enjoy this episode, and yeah, I'll see you in there. I'm Megan Waltrip, host of the Partners of Commercial Fishermen podcast, an extension of an online community created for partners to connect worldwide, find helpful resources, and share stories to feel less alone in this incredibly unique and adventurous way of life. The POCF podcast invites fishermen, family, friends, supporters, or those curious to know more about the commercial fishing community to join conversations as we learn from each other, laugh, sometimes cry, and relate with those who are the faces behind each catch. What do you say? Let's dive in. Hey y'all, I'm popping on this episode to share a trigger that I got a couple days ago whenever I received a couple emails regarding my last newsletter. So I send out newsletters every week. They've been every Wednesday, and they're really personal. I share more photos than I do online, and I open up more, if you will, in these newsletters. I call them, they're kind of like passing notes in middle school. That's what I equate them to. It's like you write to your friends and you only want them to see it. So that's essentially what these newsletters are. So in the newsletter, I wrote about how Chris was coming to town, and I was excited about him coming and, preparing for that. Also getting that mind shift around not having the home to myself anymore and welcoming in my fishermen. Many POCFs understand what that can be like. Because, the days leading up are super exciting, and but also from past experiences, I know how reunions can be. Sometimes they're not the fairy tale reunion from the Hollywood movies that we want. Sometimes they're the exact opposite, and you're like, who are you? I haven't seen you in so long. I don't know whether to give you a hug or shake your hand and reintroduce myself. And that's kind of how I felt whenever Chris came, and it probably lasted like an hour, but sometimes it can last longer than that. Some people it lasts a couple hours, some people it lasts a couple days or a week, and some people have no idea what I'm talking about. And that's totally fine too. But this particular newsletter, I got 2 responses almost immediately back to back. And I wanted to read them to you because this is kind of a very typical response. However, one is from a POCF and one is from someone who is not a partner of a commercial fisherman, who's actually a male, which is fine. But I want to share with you the difference of responses to show how partners of commercial fishermen can relate unlike anyone else, okay? And also why this triggered me too. So there's that. All right, so the first response was this: I get it 100%. Things were super awkward the first couple of weeks last time my fisherman came home. Next time he comes home, we're getting married 2 weeks later, so I'm so nervous about the adjustment period. And, he was gone for 6 months last time. He's only been gone for 3 this time. So fingers crossed. And I'm like, girl, I totally understand that. Yes, exactly. There are ways to make it less awkward. You got to give each other space to breathe, and got to give each other space to embrace the awkward. You both have been growing as individuals and, deep diving into yourselves. They think about, who knows what fishermen think, but they got a lot of things to think about. They have a lot of time to think on the water, right? And we have a lot of time to get in our routines, do what we love, what makes us happy, what are these new flows of life that are going to help bring us joy and peace and more stability in our households within a lifestyle that is, as I like to say, a coloring outside the lines type of lifestyle. Typical day-to-day does not apply to us. And that's great because we're incredible people. So Yes, that was the POCF response. 100% get this. I was like, yes, this is why we have community. And then this next email I got was, and what will you do when he leaves to fish again and the loneliness starts again? And the what does it say? And the quit house and your something about the house and your womanly needs not being met. What do you do for that? Being alone sucks, and not having someone there to fulfill your intimacy needs is awful. So I'm like, hold up, who is this? First of all, it's a guy. And so I'm feeling a little, I don't know why, but I'm like, why? I'm feeling violated right now that he's even mentioning a woman's needs not being met. And I immediately get on the defensive. I'm like, we're fine. Okay, dude. Like, don't worry about us. All right. And then I'm going, why am I so triggered? Because there's truth in this, you know? Yeah. When he leaves to fish again, it will be sad, but that's okay. That's part of it. When the loneliness starts, we have our tricks. We know what to do to bring joy into our lives. We get into our routine, so we can do that. And then the womanly needs not being met. Hello, if y'all been following for a while, then you understand the whole Clona Willie story. And if you haven't, please Google it on POCFpride.com. It's hilarious. But I think I was just kind of pissed a little bit that this guy's like, oh, thinking about all these little sad little, crying partners of commercial fishermen at home. And I'm like, no, we're fine. Okay. But also he has a point. I mean, yeah, it does get sad, but that's okay. And I was sad when Chris left this time. We spent 5 good, juicy days together. And by juicy, I mean, we were sick the whole time, but that's fine. We were able to spend that time together without pressure of having to do anything. And that was great. We had a couple beach walks. I made tons of food and we just chilled and I loved it. And about 24 hours before he goes, that's when the feelings of sadness creep in because I'm able to not think about it. I'm able to live in the moment up until that point. But 24 hours before, I'm like, okay, I'm getting sad, I'm even getting sad even thinking about it right now. But that's okay. That's just how it is. So we go through the motions. I snuggle with him even harder. I hold him a little bit tighter and I just try to soak in what it feels like to have him near me. I know you probably understand this. It's like, how can you bottle up that feeling of having your loved one? It's just every time I'm like, this time I'll understand. This time I'll get it. And it's fleeting just like anything else, but that's okay because the love inside, that's what matters, is that deep connection that you have with your partner. And then, it was 5 a.m. We had to get ready to go to the airport. And Chris was like, I'm sad too. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I know, me too. And it was just nice for us to both say, well, I'm going to miss you, and that's okay because that's part of the job. And he left. I put him on the plane and I drove off. And I have to say that the sadness started to lift a little bit more because I was falling into my routines again. And it just, just a little bit lifted. And I don't know, for me, the buildup of them leaving is always the hardest. So I went back and I allowed myself just to friggin' chill. I was still kind of recovering. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to hang out today and not do anything. So I think I watched a movie or something for the first couple hours. The sun rose. And then I felt good enough to, make some food, do some laundry, go about my day. I clipped some flowers from the yard. I lit a candle and just pampered myself. And then I was back to Megan in no time. It was a matter of hours at this time. But I think that the whole point of this is if people are triggering, I'm learning. It's not that the people are triggering, it's that they're triggering something inside of me or something that I still have to deal with. And that is on me. That's something for me to deep dive into. And so this letter, as I was like, who is this person? Now I'm going, well, thanks for bringing this up and bringing this to the surface and letting me, analyze and understand why I'm even feeling this way. And the thing is that it's okay to miss our fishermen, because how amazing is it to love somebody that much that you miss them? One of the most beautiful parts of being a partner of a commercial fisherman, I feel, is the strength of the relationship. It just gets better. It just gets stronger. The foundation is there. You are literally each other's team. You are the other half, a partnership. It's not just a relationship. This is a partnership, which I feel is has even more trust there, because you're both relying on each other to have this beautiful life that you've created and to keep it moving, right? And to be sad when they're gone, I think that's such a gift to be able to be sad, because once you embrace your feelings and you have those feelings and you cry it out, or whatever you need to do to get it out, that's the healthy way of keep moving forward, And that's also the beauty of life. I mean, having these strong emotions, and also knowing that the person that you love so much is not the reason for your happiness. Sure, they bring joy. You have a great time. You love them. They're your best friend, all the things. But at the same time, I create my own joy. I'm the one who is responsible for my happiness, and I know how to get there. And believe me, it's taken me years to get there. At one point, I couldn't even say that I loved myself. I mean, that was such a strong sentence to me. I'm like, love myself? What? Why? I mean, it was sad. That was back in the day when I was struggling with addiction to alcohol, and I was drowning myself in alcohol. And I obviously was not respecting myself enough to want to better my life. I'm like, what am I doing? So about 12 years ago, was it 12? Well, I quit drinking over 8 years ago, but I've been on my, if you will, spiritual journey from, I would want to say like 12 to 13 years. It was right before I moved to California, because I was in such a desperate state. I've always been a spiritual person. Even as a kid, I've always connected to that part of the quietness and the prayer and that I've been through different churches, which that's a whole other conversation. I'm not a church going person. I find church within my own practices in the morning. I find church going to live music venues. I also do love to go to church when there's nobody at church. I love to just sit in a chapel. When I travel, I do like to go. And sometimes I do like to go to a service once in a while just to be a part of that community. But yeah, that's a whole other situation. My views on religion versus my views on spirituality are quite different. But I do feel, for a partner of a commercial fisherman, to have something as important as having faith or a practice or a belief that things are going to be good, that's so important. There's one POCF. I asked if she was religious or spiritual. She said no. And I said, well, what do you do whenever you're fishermen? It's a stormy day at sea and they're out there. What do you do? Like, if you don't go to prayer, what do you do? And she says that she visualizes her fisherman's boat as a cork bobbing on the ocean, unsinkable cork, visualizes it, surrounds that positive energy, and then she moves on with her day. And I love that. And I'm like, we don't have to define what we need to ground ourselves in any specific terms at all. And that kind of goes back to, how we find that happy again, or the happy. I mean, is that such an overused word? How do we find that contentment to move on and to enjoy our lives? Because I think one of the main suffering points for a lot of people when they first get into this lifestyle is just like being so friggin' sad until their fisherman comes back, that they're missing their lives. I mean, this is like entire summers will go by, entire seasons will go by of, what are they doing? And da 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 da. And it's like, no, girl, like, what do you want to do? What are you doing to bring joy? Because our lives don't begin and end whenever the fishing season stops and starts. When Chris would go off to Bristol Bay, I used to feel I used to feel bad about telling him what I was doing. I was traveling to go see my friends. That's what I'd do. Whenever he'd leave, I would plan trips, because that helped me look forward to something that was other than him being gone. So I would go visit my friends. I'd stay for like a week here at my friend's house, a week there. Friends, if you're listening, thank you for giving me shelter. I love y'all. You know it. I always have a home for you too. And, but I'm going to live music. That's one of my favorite things to do. And, I was almost afraid to tell him about it because here he was working his ass off on a boat in Alaska in like shitty weather. And I'm just having a damn good time seeing my favorite peeps and dancing my butt off. And I almost felt guilty for having fun, which is really not, that is completely no. We do not need to feel guilty for enjoying our lives while our fishermen are away, They find joy in the fishing as well. They love being on the ocean. It's okay. They work hard. It's also a choice to work in this industry. And also it's our choice to, be as active and participating as we want. I mean, some of us are probably like, well, I don't have a choice because who else is going to do it? And I totally understand that too. But, our choice to be in a relationship with someone like this after a certain time, we know what's going to happen. We can't fault anyone for that. But, I was telling Chris about this. Like, I don't really know if I should tell you what I've been doing because I feel bad. And he said, no, please tell me. I want to hear what's going on. Like, this is, for him, it was like a vacation to hear about what was going on back home other than picking fish, and other than shoving food in his mouth before he had to go to sleep for a few hours to start it over again. And that's when I realized, partners of commercial fishermen out there, you do so much. You're such an incredible person just for being a stable ear for your fishermen to even chat with, let alone every single friggin' else thing you do. Because I see you, you're advocating, you're taking care of the home, the bills, you're making sure that all the family members have their birthday gifts and the Christmas gifts and are the kids taken care of and, this, soccer game or sports and theater, and you're amazing. So let's just pause there. So why did I go off on this tangent? I went off on this tangent because of the email from this gentleman who said, what will you do when he leaves to fish again and the loneliness starts again? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to embrace being sad. I'm going to cry if I need to. I'm going to pamper myself for however long I need to, or do whatever I need in that moment to feel comfort. That's in a productive, healthy way. I'm not talking about self-destruction. And we all have, I'm sure, ideas of what that is for us. But yeah, I'm going to feel sad. And the thing is, it's different from being alone and being lonely are two completely different things. You could feel lonely in a relationship. I'm sure there's people out there nodding away going, yeah, I've been there and now I'm not in that relationship anymore. It's okay. But it's, the point is not to avoid the feelings that we're going to have when our fisherman comes or when they leave. It's to accept the feelings for what they are. Be like, I am sad. I am triggered. I am this. And then go, okay, I'm a human and that's going to happen. And also I'm going to move past this like I always do. I'm going to have another beautiful, amazing day. I might have a hard day, but that's also what it's like to be human. I'm going to move on through this. And, I always have my community. I have the partners of commercial fishermen. I can go on social media and laugh at these reels. I can go on the blog and see what other women are going through and get some tips on, anything you want. I got your motherhood. I got finances. I got dating. I got marriage, all the things we got on the POCFpride.com. And of course, you can come to the podcast and listen to our beautiful community and learn about what's going on in their lives. And then you keep doing your badass self. You know what I mean? You just keep going on. So yeah, what's it going to be like when your fisherman leaves? It's probably going to be sad. But I'm not going to lie. One time when Chris left, I was like, skirt. I was like, love you. Bye. I took off to Charleston to go hang out with my friends. I think this was like right after we got engaged. We got engaged the day before he left for Bristol Bay one year. And I was so excited. And also like, yes, thank you for giving me what I want, which is I want to be married. And that's another, I feel like that's another podcast that we could talk about, another episode on how we decided to get married. But yeah, when I was just wished him well at Bristol Bay and I was like, see ya, skirt, and just hauled ass, had the best time with my friends. And that was great too. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make me love him any less. But, whatever feelings you feel, that's okay. Oh, God, let me tell you about this time. One time he left for Bristol Bay. We had a massive argument about, I can't even tell you about what it was, but I can tell you what it actually was. It was about the fact that we were going to really miss each other. And I feel like every time that he's about to leave, we argue about something stupid. Like we were walking on the beach. We were at Curry Beach. It's like at the very end of Carolina Beach in Wilmington, North Carolina, if you know about it. And we were talking about lobsters, and I don't even know what came up, but then we started going head to head, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're leaving in less than 24 hours. We do this every time. And within 5 minutes, we were like, give me a hug. I love you. Like, let's move on. So I want you to also know that it's okay to leave pissed. Well, it's not, it sucks when that happens, but it does happen sometimes. Yeah. One time, that massive whatever argument we had, he left for Bristol Bay and I dropped him off and I texted him like, I don't like leaving like this. And he's like, I don't either. And so we decided that we were going to talk about it when he got back. And that summer I tried to refocus, do my things to make me feel good, went to go visit my friends, but I had this like deep seated anger inside. Cause I'm like, I can't believe we just left like that. This sucks. You know what I mean? Like I'm worried about his safety, but I'm also like, what the F, dude? But that's relationships, right? I wasn't going to, I think we had minor conversations when he'd call and, called it a truce and stuff. And of course we love each other and something we would discuss when we got back. Honestly, I have no idea what it was, but I think it was just a lot of a mixed emotions that bubble up into some kind of emotion that we can put a name on, which is being angry, instead of the emotion that we were trying to deny, which was being sad because we really love each other and we really enjoy being with each other, So why am I sharing all this? Because I want to let you know that whatever you feel is normal with your fisherman, and embrace it. And that's how you move through it, compartmentalizing it and putting it away. That's just going to bubble it up. And whenever I was going through that anger phase, what helped was I wrote down what I felt, what I wanted to discuss with him. So I had all my thoughts clear. So this is when he came back, I was going to speak with him, but I wasn't going to speak with him when I picked him up in the car in the airport. I was going to wait till he came back, rested, so we were both clear-minded so we could walk through these feelings and walk through, both being accountable for our sides, but give us a chance to approach it as adults, if you will. And that was really helpful. And those kind of awkward, sucky moments of life are what makes the relationship stronger. It just does, It's like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, as they say, but at the same time, if two people are willing and want to work on it, it truly will, it's a beautiful thing. And they say, when people in movies, I've loved you more now than I did when I first met you. I'm like, oh my God, that's so vomit. But also I totally get it. Like, yeah, I feel that way because we've gone through so much. Also, we've been able to accept each other as we've grown and as we've both gone through our things, whatever they happen to be. So yeah, I guess what I want to do is I want to thank that dude for triggering me to have this conversation and say, yeah, what are we going to do when our fisherman leaves again? We're going to do what we always do. We're going to be partners of commercial fishermen. We're going to embrace our lives as individual women as partners of commercial fishermen. And we're going to continue to nurture that life while they're gone. We're not going to put it on hold. We're going to keep growing because our life continues no matter what. Life doesn't begin or end. It's not going to, oh my God, it's going to start once we're able to pay off this debt, or it's going to start when this happens, or whenever I'm able to finish this project. It's like, no, it's actually, this is all of it. That really corny but true saying, it's not about, what is it? Oh, wow, I'm totally going to mess it up, which is even better. It's about the journey, not the destination, right? It's like life is the journey. The destination, I mean, if you want to be real, I think the destination is probably death. I mean, that's the end. That's the end of our life. So the journey is the destination, if you will. And yeah, what do you want yours to be like? Is there something that you've wanted to try? Do you want to speak another language? Do you want to learn pottery? You want to start gardening? Do you want to, I don't know, dirt bike race? I don't know. What do you want to do? Because you can totally make time to do that for yourself. Also, I feel like it's really important to do that because of all that you give to your relationship, all that you give to your family, you know, making sure that you got your oxygen mask on first, as you've heard before, is the important part here because, you know, we are the glue. We are the ones that generally can keep our minds straight within all of this muck because we're witnessing what's going on. You know, we can put the pieces together a little easier than people who are in it sometimes. And I think that's fair to say for anybody, whether you're a fisherman or partner of commercial fishermen or whatever. You know, if you're a loved one looking at the whole picture of what this other person's going through, or maybe there's some issues with the boat, or maybe there's issues with personnel like crew and all that good stuff. But, like, you know, we're able to kind of have a clearer mind about it. And being able to have that clearer mind is being able to do what makes us feel good, whether that's just lighting a candle in the morning, whether that's having that glass of water that you need every day, like just drinking that glass of water when you wake up, whether that's going to the bathroom when you have to go to the bathroom. I know that sounds simple, but how many times are you like rushing in the house to unpack the car, blah, 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 and then finally you go to the bathroom and you're like, God, and it's like, no, go to the bathroom first. Like, let's start baby steps, y'all. Like, go pee. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, not to be vulgar. Do I need to apologize for being vulgar? We're partners of commercial fishermen. I mean, come on. But, you know, like, go to the bathroom. Also eat food. Like, that was another thing. Working so hard that you're running around like, oh, I didn't have time to eat. I just had this like bar. That's not really going to be helpful for your mental health or any loved ones surrounding you when hunger strikes, because hunger is real and nobody wants to be around that, especially the one who's hangry. You know, eat a damn snack, eat some food, drink some water. Go to the bathroom. Let's just do the basics. I mean, if you don't know where to start, let's start there. And I know that sounds simple, but sometimes I have to remind myself to do that. Like, oh yeah, I need to go eat a meal. It's been, you know, it's past lunch. I haven't even looked up from my computer. But yeah, you know, just the simple basic things. Isn't it funny that we have to be reminded of that sometimes just to exist, you know? But not only just to exist, but like to exist in a more joyful space that you're able to take on whatever's about to come your way, you know, and for all the joy that's about to come your way. And also the joy that you have in your lives, all the blessings, you know, there's this industry it's the hot and cold sometimes, but man, look around you. You're in a home, you're warm, you have love in your life, food in your belly. I mean, that says more than most people can say in this world. And we are so blessed, even within all the BS. We have so many blessings, and to remember that is to bring back to yourself. You know, what do you do when your fisherman leaves? You do you. You know, that's the answer there. So thanks for letting me chat today, and letting me get this off my chest. And thank you to the POCF who wrote in to say, I totally understand. And thanks to the dude who got under my skin to even bring this up, because I think it is something to be said. You know, yeah. Are we going to be sad and crying when our fisherman leaves? Yeah, maybe. That's okay. Or maybe we're not. And that's fine too. Oh, and what your womanly needs not being met. Okay, listen, go get your womanly needs met. They are vibrators. You know how to take care of yourself, right? Go, go to the Clone-A-Willy article. It's just too funny. Also, if you go to clonawilly.com, you can get 20% off with the POCF as your discount. Also, there's Clone-A-Pussy. Yes, I said it. And if you know, you know. which I've found extremely empowering. Me and my friend did this and I love it. It's like probably one of my favorite gifts because it's so like, what in the hell? But if you know what it really is about, it's about getting to know yourself in a totally different way, and also being able to like accept yourself and be like, damn, I am a powerful biatch, and hell yes, I am not only a partner of commercial fishermen, I'm a woman, I'm a human on this planet, that is not just our identity. It's just something that we do within our incredible universe that we've created for ourselves. We are who we are. And luckily we get to relate on such an intimate level as partners of commercial fishermen. So thank you for listening. If there are any kids listening, I apologize if you heard any of those. What do you want to say? The non-medical terminology for private areas. But that's okay because that's where we go. But I appreciate y'all. What did you think about this conversation? Is this hitting for you? If you like it, holla. If you're like, please don't ever speak about this again, let me know. But honestly, like, is there anything we can't talk about here? This is our space. Dang it. We can do whatever we want. Also, this is an open call for any POCF or fisherman out there who's listening and wants to get a message out or has something that is important to them, or you just want to share your experience, because I promise every single experience that we have is unique, even if you feel like it's not like, oh, I just do this. No, but how do you do what you do? Like, that's what makes it unique. If you are open to sharing, I'd love to be a platform for you. You can send an email to support@meganwaldrop.com. Me and my team will help. We'll review and we'll get back to you if it lines up, and we will set up a time to have you on the podcast. I want to help promote you. If you have a business, if you have whatever, any kind of talents you got, I'm here to help. I'm here to give you a voice because we deserve it, and it's important, and it's exciting and interesting, and it's inspiring to learn about other people, how they do what they do. So I appreciate y'all so much, and I hope everyone's doing great out there. And yeah, till next time, y'all. I wanted to add also, since I was speaking about the newsletter, because it is so good and it's sent out every Wednesday, if you would like to subscribe, you can go to POCFpride.com and hit the subscribe button on the homepage, and that will take you to a place where you can enter your email to sign up. And also you'll get a free budget guide that I created. It's really thorough and expansive, if you will. You don't have to use the whole thing, but I find it really helpful. But you'll get a free guide and also a couple other freebies because I love y'all so much. Also want to remind y'all that the blog is where it all started, and it's a go-to resource for all things related to partners of commercial fishermen. So if you're unsure where to start, you can totally go there. Go to POCFpride.com. Of course, there's always the podcast for you. I'm here every Wednesday, sharing stories, sharing my love, getting real, a little sassy sometimes, but that's how we do. I think I like spicy. That's my favorite word. So we'll do that. Also, of course, there is the forum where you can connect with other POCFs and learn about their experiences, and also get one-on-one support from me. This is the only place you can get one-on-one support right now, and things will eventually change over time. The prices are going to increase on the forum. So if you want to lock in your membership price, this is the time to do it. And you can go to meganwaldrop.com/private-forum to learn more. And all of this information is in the show notes if you're interested. And also we have gear, and I'm wearing one right now, a really dope Partners of Commercial Fishermen t-shirt that was designed by Kitty Sopow, who is a artist in the commercial fishing industry. She totally nailed our new logo, and these shirts are sick. They fit like your favorite band tee, and I probably wear it once a week. I'm not going to lie. But we have merch, and we also have really cool stickers that all weather. You can stick on your car, stick on your cups. I have it on every coffee cup I have. You can find that on POCFpride.com as well. That's where all the goodies are. So just wanted to shout out, if you need us, if you need me, those are the places you can find us and me. Awesome. Thanks for being here, and until next week. Thank you so much for being here. Your downloads, your reviews mean more than you know, because that's how we know that you are enjoying the podcast. And if you'd like to further support the community, you can tap the subscribe button, share with family and friends, post on socials, or write a review. But you know what? As long as you're getting value, that is all that matters. But if you go that extra step, we truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're a partner of a commercial fisherman looking for more resources on how to navigate this unique lifestyle, from long distance dating to communication to finances to motherhood advice to mental health, safety, you know, all the things. We're building more resources on succession planning and retirement. It's going to be amazing. There's even an option to join the private forum as well if you jump onto POCFpride.com to learn more. We are there for you. We got all of the community and all of the resources you need, and they are continuing to grow as we learn what you need the most. We can't wait to connect with you, and thank you so much again for being here. Thanks for listening today. Being here means you're a part of the POCF family, and we wouldn't be a community without you. I'm Megan, and this is the Partners of Commercial Fishermen podcast. As always, much love, POCF pride, and remember, you are not alone.